So hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Connect and Share on a Friday. And on this Remembrance Day week, we also remember those that have really paid the ultimate sacrifice in protecting us and our future here in Australia. And also, can I pay my respects to all our Aboriginal people, past, present and future leaders in which we work with to understand more about the earth and the sea and the air in which we use every day to do our activities. Today we've got a jam-packed session. I'm going to actually introduce Sarah Rosen, who is from SKILLiQ and manages the New South Wales ITAB. And as you would know that I, as the CEO of Outdoors New South Wales and ACT, also sit on the Sport and Recreation ITAB with Sarah and a few others. So I'm going to get Sarah to talk about what's coming up and where she's up to with SKILLiQ, and then we'll do a wrap up of the week following that session. So Sarah, I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thanks, Laurie. Hi, everyone. I hope you're staying dry wherever you are. And if you're outdoors, put your wet weather gear on, because I think across the state, it's a pretty grim kind of day. But anyway, yes, so I'm the SKILLiQ New South Wales ITAB, and I look after, I help industry with their training and skills needs, and basically broker between industry and training services New South Wales to find training solutions to workforce problems. So just to let you know, as Laurie said, we do have our Sport and Rec IAC, and we have the forum coming up. Our last meeting for the year we conduct as a forum, and last year we held our forum in Kiama, which was wonderful, and we had a showcase event with Surf Lifesaving New South Wales. We were fortunate enough to have our Skills and Tertiary Minister, Jeff Lee, attend our forum last year, and fortunately, he's attending again this year. So this year's forum will be held in Parramatta at the Business Western Sydney premises in the centre of Parramatta. I think it's in Parramatta Square. It'll be on Friday, the 3rd of December from 9 to 12. The purpose of we're calling it a round table because it's going to be a fairly smallish event. So we're thinking sort of 30 to 40 people. And we'll be looking at issues, identifying the issues and challenges for the sector to reconnect with their workforce, strategies to attract and retain staff through the skills development to build capacity and capability for businesses to recover and thrive. And we know that outdoors particularly has been hammered over the last 2 years. So I think it provides you with a really good opportunity to bend the ear of the minister. Hopefully he stays long enough, but we do give him briefing documents and the like. So it's really important that we keep getting those messages across about what sort of workforce shortages you're facing and how we can best address that, where to put the funding dollars to support the economic recovery. So yes, we'll be looking forward to your support. And if you can't attend, you'll be pleased to know that we are providing Zoom access. So it will, so the meeting component will be, it's basically discussion session. So we'll have presenters from Training Services, Business Western Sydney. We don't have David Borger, he's not able to attend, but we will have his policy manager, Mustafa Aghi, and a couple of, some other people as well, obviously. So yeah, I'll send through the invitation details to you, Laurie, and perhaps you could share that with your members.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to you joining me. Any questions, let me know. And if you want to provide any feedback about things that you may want covered or specific questions, it's really good if you can let us know beforehand. And just one last thing is that we do have the industry showcase, and fortunately Laurie's been very helpful in putting us in contact with Charlene Boardley, and she'll be talking to us. She does cycling tours and training in the Parramatta region. So there's some really good synergies to actually put an outdoor recreation activity front and centre. So hopefully everybody will be able to join us from about 9:30. So we'll be registering from 9. That's what we said, 9 to 12. Just to give people that opportunity for a bit of networking. Come at 9, you can register, listen to Christine Charlene, sorry, and hear about her advantageous program that supports women in the Parramatta area to learn cycling skills. So, yep, that's it from me. Thanks, Laurie.
Well, Sarah, you're privileged to have Charlene on the line as well. So,
hi, Charlene. Look forward to meeting you.
So, Charlene, did you want to say what you'll be doing? Any insight into what you'll be covering off, or do you want to leave it for another day?
Leave it for another day because it's
work in progress.
Sarah's got me busy working on my intro, and it's a bit of an eye-opener of what we actually do.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So just to reiterate,
maybe for Charlene, it might be useful for you to have somebody who you've been working with. So maybe one of your, I don't know what you call them, but whether they're students or whatever, like a good case study or a good ambassador kind of person, to actually have somebody who can share their experience. That would probably be what I'd look at. And you can provide the backgroundy business part. They can say, this has been amazing. This is what I've done. And this is, the road I'm on, sort of thing, the journey.
Fantastic. Yes, because we've just employed one of our volunteers. So exactly what we want to be showcasing.
That's awesome.
And we'll see if we can get some funding too. That would be what I'd be looking at, because you've got training services there. So accessing some funding to put some skill sets together and actually giving people a skill set, a statement of attainment would be a really good outcome. And this is great for the minister because it's his electorate. It is the day before the council elections.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. Yes.
Nothing
I'll be busy in Parramatta.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you, Sarah. And just to reiterate, it's the 3rd of December, 9 a.m. to midday in Parramatta, and anyone can register to join either in person or on Zoom. Yeah.
And the minister will be there at about 10 o'clock.
Wonderful.
He comes earlier. So.
Great. Dom's got a quick question.
I do. Sarah, I'm not sure if this is a little bit off topic, but does the SKILLiQ, do you guys have the, is part of your role about attraction and retention of staff into all industries, or I guess in particular the outdoor industry Australia-wide?
No, so the SKILLiQ does the training packages. So they do the SIS training package. That's the national sort of focus. I'm the New South Wales ITAB, so I just focus on what's happening in New South Wales with training and funding. So if there's a qualification and we think it should be a traineeship, then that's where I come in. So I'll declare on vocational training orders that a certificate 3 in outdoor should be available and funded as a traineeship in New South Wales. And there's been an update, I think, just the SIS qualifications have just gone through one update, and they're really around the fitness qualifications, and the other remaining qualifications are just going through a case for change at the moment. Laurie, you might be aware of that. But I do look after other areas. So I look after sport and rec. I also look after sport, retail and personal services, which is hair and beauty, and tourism, travel and hospitality.
Wonderful. And but you liaise with the federal counterparts in SKILLiQ, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely, So when there's things happening, we'll communicate what's happening through our e-newsletter. So I do a New South Wales ITAB e-newsletter. If you want to subscribe to that to get any updates on training packages, and you can subscribe through SKILLiQ as well at that national level. But I usually communicate that out to industry, particularly if there's, any funding available or any grants or things that might be of relevance to the sector.
Sarah, just while we've got you too, and just on Dom's point, have we got any news on the extension of SKILLiQ and engagement with the government at this point?
Well, as everybody knows, there's a vet reform process in place, and it's proceeding to its timeline, which means that the new iteration will be in place from the beginning of 2023, and the SSOs are transitioning. So there'll be a grant application process to deal with the new industry clusters.
Right.
So they're setting up and seeking expressions of interest for grant applications to be those new organisations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't comment on whether SKILLiQ is going to be part of that process.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And have you had much to do with the launch of the Careers New South Wales, which I believe only happened yesterday as far as public announcement? You've been engaged with that?
Yes, well, we've been promoting that through the e-newsletter, and we were consulted. So there were some roundtables and things on what it should actually look like. So the ITABs were all involved with that, along with Department of Education and a whole lot of other stakeholders, about what the portal and the resources would look like. So yeah, it's good to know that it's out there. So I just suggest everybody go on it and have a look. And if you got any feedback, they've probably got a feedback link on it, so you can feedback to me if you like, or you can feedback directly to the department, particularly around things which we've had before, where we've had sort of outdoor recreation might get classified in, I think on one of the New South Wales skills sites, it was classified under manufacturing. And
okay.
so there's what it is there's something there about the ANZIC codes, how you've got that classification of occupations and industries and all that kind of stuff. It can get really a bit odd, to be honest with you. And maybe when we do the new clusters, it might be a bit clearer. But somehow, for some reason, some outdoor stuff comes in under manufacturing, which is bizarre. Because if you do a search, it's like, how do you find your qualification? So what I'm saying is just have a play with it and, put in a qualification. I think the other thing is too, when I looked at it, you have to be quite specific about what it is that you want. So for things that are a little bit more general, like you don't know, you get sent off into a full qualification. So you have to search for a full certificate rather than searching maybe for a part. Well, for a young person, they might just want to do something like a statement of attainment. They just might want to do some outdoor skill set rather than a full, like a learn to swim or pool lifeguarding. So that's what I want you to have a look at. See if you can find, or if you get lost. To me, that's the problem. If you can't find what you're looking for as a consumer, then kids get frustrated pretty easily. I think the other thing to remember too is that the website is for everybody, so it's not just for school leavers. So
no, that's
but any feedback, love to hear of any feedback.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, fabulous. I'll be talking about that a little bit later, so we'll get people on there and having a look. Any other questions for Sarah while we have her in the room, so to speak?
The virtual room.
The virtual room. Cool. All right. Thanks so much, Sarah. Good luck with your IT issues. Let's hope they get solved.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that, Laurie.
Right. Pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we'll get back to the presentation, a bit of an update on everything. We might be finished a little bit earlier today, and then I thought it'd be a great opportunity to sort of hear from you after we stop the recording on what's going on out there at the moment and where is everyone up to as we gear up for that little thing called Christmas, which is just around the corner. Before we get started, I had a great conversation with someone this week around the A380 and how it's returned on its first journey back to Australia. But now that plane and all its staff are now undergoing a 4-month training program. That plane is not to take off again until every staff member, every pilot, anyone associated, mechanics and other, are not to touch anything in the air until they've gone through all the training for 4 months before that leaves again. It just gives us a reminder of how vulnerable we are right now in making sure that as we get back to activity and back to our operations, that all of our staff are not in the habit, in the fluidity of their operations and practices. And if Qantas does this, we should be taking a leaf out of their book and understanding the importance of that training element before we do anything. It was really, yeah, so let's literally, that plane is not going to leave again now until March 2022. So even though we've opened up, we're back to business, back to operation. You know, this is an important lesson for all of us to take note on.
So a 4-minute update before operation isn't acceptable
Probably
now.
not going to cut it, Dave. Probably not
damn, yeah. You better put that out then. Everyone might have to think about that one. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
You
can
might
I
have to extend it
applaud?
to 5 minutes, Dave, not 4
Yeah,
minutes.
5 minutes, maybe 5.5. Yeah.
Hi, Laurie,
Yeah.
just on that, if I could
Yep.
jump in there for a sec.
Absolutely.
With my risk management training business hat on, we've actually just done a risk management booster course, or a booster shot. We call it a booster shot for teachers.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we're actually marketing that to schools at the moment on that very premise, basically saying, your staff have been away for 2 years, get their head back in the game. And I know, okay, it's 45 minutes versus 4 minutes, but I think you really have hit the nail on the head. This is a big vulnerability for us. And rusty operators, rusty staff, poor communications. We don't want to see a spate of incidents in the next 12 months because of that. And I think, yeah, I love, interestingly, I've been watching Air Crash Investigators as well. And the learnings from that, and I know it's a different industry, but because you mentioned the A380, they're so dialed with, okay, this happened in the past. How do we prevent this? How do we build this body of knowledge? And they're just an industry I think we can learn a lot from as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Thank you for noting that. And I think the more that we look at industries that are doing these things exceptionally well and learn from what they're doing, the better we will be empowered to do so, and we can leverage those opportunities. Dave,
and just to add to David's comment, accidents actually don't happen on the day. If you look at the aviation and the marine industries and others, when they do the investigations, they find that the actual accident started months or years before with some poor practice, including poor training and other things. So we can actually learn the concepts of better safety from those sorts of investigations.
Absolutely. Very good. Don?
Yeah, just quickly, Laurie, I think the other one on that is, and this happened a little bit for us, there was a significant focus on the new COVID protocols. And I think it's a refresher training on all the protocols, every part of every aspect of all the operations that, you know, that can get a little bit rusty, particularly if all the training is focused only on the new stuff. So I think that's probably an important piece of that.
Yes, great suggestion there. I think just trying to articulate that it's just one element is very important. No, great conversation. Thanks all. And David Gregory, if you do another booster shot, let us know and we'll promote that for you. I think that's a great tool. And can I also say well done to Dan McNamara, who also did something very similar for his guys in the ACT. And I know we did put it out to the broader membership, but yesterday he held a return to outdoor adventure activities, and this is exactly what he was also talking about. So it was a great session. The recording is now on our YouTube channel, so if you want to catch up on that, I'd certainly encourage you to do so. He is planning on doing another one, but we'll hear from him very soon on that. The other thing that he mentioned yesterday, and I encourage everyone to have a look, is amazing Claire Dallett, who I'm sure most of us know from Now Risk Resolve. She did a great YouTube video on the systems thinking around risk management. Well worth the watch for all of you as operators to have a look at that. Incredible content, and well worth the time spent having a look at that. This just brings me to reminding everyone of the enormous information that we have put on our YouTube channel. So if you are wanting some information on particular areas, and if you have a look on our YouTube channel, you'll probably find one of our 75 Connect and Shares has covered it off at some stage. If not, we have found videos on YouTube that we've also put into playlists for you to access. So all our Connect and Shares are linked under the playlist Connect and Share. So you can search via that. If that's about safety, we've put videos in our playlist about safety in the outdoors, and so forth. Now, if you as operators have also got YouTube links, send them through and we'll make sure that we put it under our members playlist so that the public can certainly take advantage of getting that further out. Careers is obviously a big one at the moment, a lot of focus area that we're working on, trying to get more awareness about our industry. Also the opportunities, and obviously the webinar that we had the other day is on there as an example. But yes, can I please stress that there is a lot of content available on our YouTube channel and also on our playlists for you to access. That also goes with the resources that we're building every day, every week on our website. Now, I have to ask, if there's something that you cannot find, can you please let us know? Because we'd love to keep adding to the resources that are available for you as members of Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. So yeah, please have a bit of a browse. There's many different pages there with all sorts of content. Even if it's related to one of our subcommittees, you'll find we actually have now some relevant master plans and some articles on mountain biking at the moment, which the committee have been looking at. And so they're on our website as well under the committee area. Camps advocacy, right. At this point in time, I have no more news for you on the resumption of camps just yet. As we know, ACT is certainly all systems go, and some of them are even coming into New South Wales to partake in their school camps. We've had inquiries from Victoria asking when they can come into New South Wales and do their camps. Certainly they can. New South Wales, our students can't at this point in time. We had some great coverage on Channel 9 on last Saturday night, last Sunday night, and a bit of press coverage. We're now in talks with the opposition and also local members on the issue. Everyone agrees it's bonkers that we're even having these conversations, but we still have not been able to broker anything to do with resumption just yet. So I'm hoping that by this time next week, we'll have some better news for you all. Even just a clear guideline is term 1 on. And also some funding opportunities, which we know we desperately need to keep our businesses going until they can get their camps back. Any questions on any of that? Feel free to yell. But I do have some good news, and this comes from the Department of Education. And firstly, may I thank some amazing people who have helped me in getting this activity happening. I'm going to forget someone, but Tonya Gray, Morgan Huxley, Nathan Hando, Catherine Ullman, Dan McNamara, Angelica from ACT Directorate as well. Who have I forgotten? I hope I've forgotten anyone. Anyway, thank you to those guys who have been incredible in helping pull together a recommended approach for the OE curriculum, the outdoor education curriculum for stage 5. As of yesterday, it is now live. It is now on the Department of Education's website for schools to review and conduct the pilot implementation of this in 2022. The hope is then that we help the Education Department revise this throughout next year and then come up with the curriculum for 23 onwards that all schools will have access to. It's really nicely aligned with the Cert 2, so we're hoping that a lot of schools will also take up that opportunity of having an RTO accredit the students that so want the qual as well. But a great result, and yeah, I'm pleased to say we've got some good news out of this. So thank you again to all those involved. Another piece of good news is that we're on our way to locking in the masterclass for 2022. You might remember in March 2021, we had a masterclass which all members could attend for free. It was capped at a number. This year, we're opening up that cap a lot wider and hopefully get some more members in. So we'll ask for expressions of interest on that as soon as we lock in all of the details, but keep that in mind as we progress into 2022. Grants, there's a lot of grants out there. And can I just stress that if you are not sure on how to navigate the grants that are right for you, come and talk to us, because we can certainly help you with that. This is just one grant. It's the Destination New South Wales one, and this is around renewing and refreshing tourism product. There's also event funds, which you can see at the top there, the regional infrastructure and refresh and renew is under that on the same page. So if you go to Destination New South Wales website, type in grants, it'll come up really, really easily. But this is only one. There's a lot out there at the moment. Make sure you're very solid on what you want from these grants. The biggest rule of thumb is don't invent things to go into grants. Look at your outcomes, look at the projects you've wanted to look at into the future and align that with some of these grants. And again, reach out, we can help you. Careers New South Wales launched yesterday. So you might remember we had a guest speaker some time ago on this project, a really exciting project, getting the outdoors involved in this. I'm one of the volunteers, so I'll be connected with people that might be aligned to thinking that the outdoors is a good option for them. And I know that some of you have also been involved in that volunteer process. They are still open for volunteers. So if anyone is interested in putting their hand up and connecting, it's about 1 hour a month that they're asking you to commit to on average. And yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how this is taken up. But as you heard Sarah Rosen say, that, you know, it's really new. So we've got to give that feedback on how it's navigated and if we can add some impactful change in allowing people to find us easily and efficiently. Another piece of good news is Career Links were contracted by the Department of Education, Skills and Employment federally to run a virtual job fair. I couldn't resist the opportunity. I applied, we were successful. So we will have a stand. I don't know how you have a virtual stand, but we have one at this fair, and we will be engaging with some of the people that are looking for either career change or coming out of school, coming out of university, and trying to fill some of those roles that we know we certainly have as we come into 2022. So yep, the website's there if you're interested. And yeah, it's great to have outdoors as part of a national opportunity like that. Lots of activities in the works other than advocacy. We have a trail bike discussion paper coming out that is looking amazing. It is highlighted the economic value of trail biking following the survey we had, and also articulating some of the challenges that that activity has in the state and territory. We're about to release the mountain bike issue survey. That's going to help define a lot of what the mountain bike group are going to look at when it comes to issues that are associated with that activity. Already we can see some discussion around infrastructure and what towns provide for the activity, and also the prolific, can I say prolific? There's a lot of mountain bike trails being built right now. And a lot of them haven't been thought through on what infrastructure they need around them, and certainly the services that are required around them as well. Not only that, the ongoing maintenance of these trail bike parks and trails as well, and making sure that they are following the guidelines that they should be. So we hope to really be a piece of support for the sector in that, but also identify some of the challenges and help pave the way to change. Research. The research that we announced, I think it was midway through the year, is really coming to the end of its data collection. And I have to say, it's really exciting. The schools have been having one-on-one meetings with the research agency, telling us the obstacles to outdoor education, telling us some of the perceptions that they have, some of the realities as well. And hopefully that report will give us really the best tool to now engage more schools in the opportunity of outdoor education. So I thank the Office of Sport for helping us with this project, and can't wait to present it to you when that is done. And the other thing is the marketing grants are very close. So the Office of Sport have been advocating on our behalf to get some funding to promote our outdoor activities. They were successful in that, and there's a $1 million fund that will be open very, very soon. They are not a dollar for dollar match, you'll be pleased to know, but certainly if you've got any contribution you want to add to it, that will be looked favourably upon. But these grants are available for you to promote your business, your activities, and what you do for the communities and the people that you have come to your business. So I urge you all to apply for this. When I spoke with the CEO of Office of Sport, she said, all of the money has to go. We want everyone to apply. And I totally agree with her. We need to ensure that we take up this opportunity, we get the awareness out there about what we offer communities and our visitors, and really make an impactful moment out of these grants. Sarah's already spoken, so we don't need to go there. So that's pretty much it for today, guys, as far as the wrap up of Around Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. We might stop the recording because I would like to open it up now for a bit of